I climbed a mountain with a friend I made on the internet, and things went terribly wrong. So at the time, I had been friends with this person for about 4 years on the internet. He was coming down from a different province, and we made plans to hang out while he was in town. I live in a fairly small town that doesn't have a lot to do most of the time, and the middle of summer was no exception. So I decided to take him to the mountain I climbed because the view is beautiful, and I just enjoy climbing personally. Getting to the mountain was good. We hiked through the woods for a bit before climbing up. We took the safer path to climb, but it's still really steep. And there's a part where you have to use a rope just to get up the mountain. Once you're on top of the mountain though, it's all easy trails. So we eventually make it up to the top, and we're up there for a while, taking in the view and talking about what to do afterwards. We decided to hit up Tim Hortons for coffee and go to the lake after we climbed down. Here's where the problems start. We get to the part of the mountain where we climbed down, and I had just taken my first few steps to grab a tree for a handhold, and my foot slips. I go bouncing, tumbling, and rolling. Probably quite the sight for my friend down this mountain. I went a good 80 feet rolling and bouncing along the rocks to the base of the mountain. I laid still for a moment, making sure I was still alive before standing up. My friend's yelling to see if I'm okay, as I look myself over and ask him to bring me my shoe that came off when I fell. Needless to say, I went to the hospital to get checked out. I had bruised ribs, inflamed some cartilage, had some nerve damage and a small patch on my leg, and a lot of bumps and bruises. I still have the picture of all my injuries, and my friend is slightly traumatized. At least our first person hangout is unforgettable for the most part. I'm not gonna lie, when I read the title of this story, I thought it was going in a completely different direction. I think falling down a mountain is a lot better of a situation than what could have happened when you're meeting someone on the internet for the first time. So in all honesty, as horrible as it sounds, I'm kinda glad that the surprise for this story was just that the original poster fell down a mountain. Because if what I thought was gonna happen actually did happen, I would be horribly upset. But I've actually done something like this similar. I was in Boy Scouts as a kid, and as we were climbing up this steep incline, one of the other Boy Scouts in front of me let loose a rock, and this watermelon-sized boulder smashed into the side of my hip. It hurt like crazy at the time, but we just kept going. I never did tell my parents about it. Overall, this could have been a lot worse, so I think this person got off lucky just having some bruised ribs and some bumps and bruises overall.
The full version of the video is on the Am I the Jerk YouTube channel, so check out the link in the description for that. And if there are any updates, that's where they'll be too. But if you like Am I the Jerk, you're probably going to love Am I the Genius. Am I the Genius is on YouTube, but there's also a podcast version of it just like Am I the Jerk. So if you're already subbed to Am I the Genius on YouTube, just search for Am I the Genius on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or whatever you use.